Yo, how's it going, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and welcome to another review of the Pokemon Journey series. Today we're going to be covering episode 94. And in this episode, Erica, the 4th gym leader in the Kanto region, returns. Also, there's a love story between Heracross and Pinsir, and there's some jealousy caused within the episode, and yeah. So, how was the episode overall? Well, before I got into the episode review, you guys know the drill. If you're new to the channel, you like this type of content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It'd be pretty awesome if you would do that. So, we're at the Sakuragi Park at the beginning of this episode, and it would seem like Ash and Go have just returned from a recent trip from the Unova region. In off-screen land. Anyways, apparently Go caught a Lilligant while he was out in the Unova region, brought it back with him to the Sakuragi Lab, in which all of his Pokemon start interacting with Lilligant, including Heracross, who seems to have fallen in love with Lilligant, and Pinsir, who's actually making some flowers, or a wreath for good old Heracross over here, sees this and is immediately heartbroken. Now, while trying to come up with the ideas to help out Pinsir, Ash and Go stumble across Professor Sakuragi and Koharu is showing off a class that she's interested in to her father. This class is a flower arrangement class that takes place at the Celadon City Gym. And the main reason Koharu wants to go here is because Erica has a Leafeon, and obviously she wants Eevee to meet the evolutions so that it can figure out what it wants to be, what it wants to evolve into. So obviously Koharu wants to go and attend the class for that reason. And Ash and Go see this, and Go is immediately interested because Pinsir over here is actually jealous of Lilligant, and actually starts trying to wear flowers on its head, trying to imitate Lilligant, thinking that, hey, if I have these flowers, maybe Heracross will like me instead, or start to like me again. So that's why Go is interested to take Pinsir to this class, to help cheer up Pinsir and also get some nice flowers to show off to good old Heracross over here. So, Ash, Go, and Koharu head to the Celadon City Gym, and we get some nice continuity nods here as Ash remembers his battle with Erica remembers Ash, and remembers what Ash did that day, saving a Gloom's life that was caught in the gym as it was burning down. She's been grateful for Ash ever since that day. She gave Ash the Celadon City Gym badge, which, despite being handed that gym badge, it's still one of my favorite episodes from the original series. Oh, and Team Rocket are here spying on the brats as they want to attempt to get Pikachu, and obviously, seeing as they got some history here as what they did back in the day to this gym, I'm actually kind of surprised that Erica didn't actually bring this up in the episode, but yeah, anyways, they're basically there to steal Pikachu, so they disguise themselves. So Ash, Go, and Koharu, they enter Pikachu, Eevee, and Pinsir into the class. So there are two parts of this class. So the first part is gathering the flowers, and then basically putting on a performance. Which for Eevee wants to imitate Leafeon. Ash does whatever he wants with Pikachu. And then Pinsir obviously wants to get a bunch of flowers to impress Heracross. Team Rocket show up for a little bit, and it's funny because Go and Koharu almost catch on to the fact that it's Team Rocket. Because Go recognizes Wobbuffet and Meowth. And obviously Meowth talks, and Koharu, having that one episode way back where she hung out with Meowth for a little bit in the episode, almost recognized that this was actually Team Rocket's Meowth, which I thought was kind of funny. Anywho, Team Rocket are getting pretty impatient, so they end up leaving the class midway so they don't participate in the performance aspect of the class. They go outside, they call their wonderful Gacha Machine. They conveniently have two Grass-type Pokemon that they call from the Gacha Machine, which is a Leavanny and a Lurantis. And anyways, back to the performance, which I thought they were pretty interesting. So we have Koharu's Eevee, which is imitating Leafeon, which apparently it makes Leafeon very happy. And then we have Pikachu, which basically turns into like lights on a Christmas tree, which I thought was kind of funny. And then we have Pinsir, which is covered in flowers, actually looking pretty. In which Grookey actually steps up and actually starts slapping the ground with its stick. And as you know, when Grookey does this, it causes flowers that are withering, or just flowers in general, to start blooming, which happens on Pinsir. So they're wondering, hey, I wish Heracross was here, because Heracross would actually love seeing this. Which goes like, hey, well, I just so happen to have brought Heracross with me, which it's funny because this starts to embarrass Pinsir over here. But as Go is bringing out Heracross, that's when Team Rocket strike, and they end up stealing Pikachu. So they face off against Erica, Ash, Go, and Koharu, It seems like they're holding their own, and Heracross is actually facing off against the Pokemon. He's struggling actually quite a bit, and they're about ready to land a Solar Beam directly on Heracross. That's when Pinsir steps up and actually takes the Solar Beam. In a scene that's actually kind of reminiscent of Dragon Ball Z, when Piccolo stepped in front of Gohan when Nappa was about to kill him and sacrifice his life. I don't know about you guys, but that scene where Pinsir stepped in front of Heracross really reminded me of that scene from Dragon Ball Z. But doing so ended up destroying the flowers on Pinsir, but they end up blasting Team Rocket off, which Pinsir is actually quite upset about what happened. But Heracross, being impressed by this, actually puts one of the flowers on Pinsir's head. Oh, and is Erica not going to say anything about her gym? The gym kind of got busted up once again. Clearly not as bad as it was before when it basically got burnt down. But there was still some collateral damage here, so I'm surprised she wasn't really that, upset about that. I don't know, I just thought that was funny. It's kind of irrelevant, but, if I were her, I'd probably be a little bit, upset, not just at the ceiling. I'd be like, Ash, you're like banned here for life because every time you show up, my gym gets destroyed, so please leave and never come back. But anywho, as they're leaving for the day, Erica actually gifts Koharu some perfume, and she gives this to her Eevee so that one day Eevee can decide what she wants to be, which was a pretty nice scene. But then we have Pinsir and Heracross that are clearly in love, at least Erica sees this too. And Pinsir really likes Heracross to the point where it actually picks Heracross up and freaks it out as the episode comes to a close. So overall, I found this episode to be okay. Not a bad episode, but not a great episode either. It did have its nice moments, like the continuity nods are pretty nice in the episode. It's pretty cool that Ash remembers his battle with Erica and Erica remembers Ash. That's nice. I also like the wholesome moments throughout the episode. Pinsir's pretty cute. The music was pretty nice throughout the episode as well. So that's all pretty good. Now when it comes to Koharu's part in this episode, I'm 50-50 with it. Because on one hand, it's some nice development for her and Eevee, as they're still trying to figure out what Eevee wants to be. Does it want to be a Flareon, Vaporeon, Jolteon, or Leafeon? As featured in this episode, Leafeon's another evolution, so that's why Koharu and Eevee are here. But I almost feel like this should have been its own episode, because the Pinsir Heracross stuff really dominated the episode, and Koharu and Eevee's part in this episode felt minor in comparison. It was okay, but I felt like they could have done a lot more here. In fact, I almost feel like this could have been a two-parter. Like, the first episode focuses on Pinsir and Heracross, and then the second episode focuses on Koharu and Eevee, and maybe her getting to know Erica a little bit more, and then her Leafeon a little bit more. There could have been more focus here, and then maybe this is what inspires Koharu to try out contests or performances as we saw in that preview at the end of 2021. In fact, we did a minor performance in this episode. Nothing too big, but the Pokemon were showing off their costumes with the flowers and stuff. So that could have led to that, and it really didn't. So yeah, I mean, this is one of those parts that actually could have benefited from being a two-parter, but I'll take what we got in this episode, I guess. Now, what I didn't like about this episode is the fact that Ash and Go literally went to Unova off-screen. Yes. In off-screen land, before the events of this episode, Ash and Go went on a trip to Unova, and on this trip, Go caught 2 Pokemon. Yeah, he didn't just catch Lilligant. While I was editing this video, I actually discovered that he actually also caught a Hoo-Hoo. Yeah, on his trip to Unova. But the most annoying part for me is the fact that this Pokemon that Go caught in off-screen land is influencing the events in this episode. Heracross is in love with Lilligant, Pinsir sees this and is immediately jealous, wishes to be like Lilligant, which leads to all of them going to the Celadon City Gym, and all the shenanigans that happen there. This Pokemon is literally influencing the events in this episode, and it just doesn't feel organic. Like, maybe if the previous episode took place in the Unova region, and Go catches a Lilligant, and it leads into this episode, it would feel more connected. Instead, it feels very disjointed. It doesn't feel organic. It just feels like they just did this for the sake of doing it. And it's really annoying that this happened in off-screen land. And not only that, this Lilligant that influences this episode barely appears in the episode. It's literally only here for the beginning, and then it disappears for the rest of the episode, disappearing into the background at the Sock Rocky lab. So yeah, not really a big fan of this Pokemon that was caught in Off-Screen Land, influencing the entire plot of this episode. This could have been done a lot better in my opinion. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for this episode review. So overall, an okay-ish episode. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. So in the comment section down below, post your thoughts. What do you think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I'd like to hear your thoughts. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And have a good day or night wherever you're at, guys. And peace.